What up, what up? What's the B word, man? I'm Anthony Addison with another segment of What's the B word. Like and subscribe to the page. Hit me up on Instagram, What's the B word 52, just like you see on YouTube. Hit me up on Facebook, What's the B word, and hit me up on Twitter, B word 52. And y'all already know what's going on with me. Baltimore Raven fan, Raven Nation stand up. Flock, let's get it. But if you're not a Raven fan, you might be a fan of whoever. The Bengals, the Bills, the Raiders, Steelers, or whoever. Hit the subscribe button anyway, because we talk football, period, baby. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Ravens right now. And if you're a Raven fan, or if you're just a fan of football and you just a fan of just a feel-good story or somebody just grinding it out and finally getting a little bit more money, then, you'll like this post right here, man. Baltimore Ravens have just extended Project Pat Ricard to a 2-year deal. They haven't came out with the numbers and stuff like that, or how much the deal is. I'm sure it's not huge numbers and stuff like that, but I'm sure it's more money than what he was making. Pat was an undrafted free agent being signed by Baltimore a few years back. Originally a defensive lineman from Maine. I think it's the University of Maine. Pretty much seen that he probably wasn't going to make the team as a defensive lineman, and we tried him out at fullback. I think they said that was Harb's idea of trying him out at fullback and stuff. And, man, to me, like, if y'all can go back in the Raven group on Facebook last year, I was questioning why we stopped playing him last year at fullback, but then some people said it was like some off-the-field social media type thing. Some bull crap had happened. I don't really know the detail in it, but that's why he wasn't active in most of our games last year. But this year, man, unsung hero, man, he pretty much was a star up in preseason, and man, he a star in the Raven community now. I mean, this guy goes out. I mean, just think about it, man. You coming in as a free agent, like people that don't understand the NFL, man, coming in as an undrafted free agent and making the team is hard enough. It's hard enough. But for this man to just swallow his pride and be like, okay, I know I can't make this team as a D lineman, so I got to do extra stuff to bring me more value. Just like Taysom Hill. I'm not saying that he's Taysom Hill, but I'm saying just like Taysom Hill. I got to do more stuff to bring me more value. And that's what he did. Hobbs mentioned the whole fullback thing. Pat went over there and tried out and did some fullback, and he did pretty good. I heard he played a little bit of it in high school, I believe. But I'm just saying, he did pretty good at fullback the first, the preseason and stuff like that, and he eventually made the team. Now think of what Patrick Ricard's career would probably be like if he was even able to be on an NFL team if he didn't swallow his pride and make that move of trying out fullback. And he pretty good at it, man. He pretty good, man. He is a big part of our offense, man. When we see him Pat Ricard through that hole to go block something and somebody get up in that way, man, up in his way, man, he coming to wreck something. Every time he coming to wreck something. It's like having another pulling guard to your offense. And that's like, man, he is a solid piece to our offense as far as blocking. I know our O-line do a great job, but him and Nick Boyle, we ain't talking about Nick, though. I'm just saying, Nick Boyle, I'm just saying, man, he do a good job with blocking and just doing his job. And then when we in situations where we just need an extra body on defense and stuff like that, we are able to flip this man to the other side of the ball and play defense. How many teams say they can have that? How many teams say they got stuff like that? Everybody don't have stuff like that. Somebody that's going to go out there and play both sides of the ball. I mean, I've seen Belichick do it a couple of times. I forgot it's another team that's just trying experimenting with it now. I can't remember who, but I'm just saying, man, it doesn't happen a lot in the NFL. And then for a player to be effective on both sides of the ball, whenever we call his number, Project Pat is ready. I'm not saying that he plays at a superstar level, but whenever we call Project Pat, he does his job. And shout out to DeCosta, man, for knowing that he a big part of our offense, knowing that he saves a spot on the roster because he does two things. You know what I'm saying? The more value you have, the more important you are. That's why DeCosta felt like it was needed to go ahead and extend him. Because if you don't believe that some other teams was going to kind of try to swoop in and steal him, like with Kyle Juszczyk, then you crazy. You crazy. So shout out to the Costa, man. Shout out to Project Pat, cause man, I'm sure y'all don't understand. This man practice. He practiced part of the in practice. He practiced part of it with the offense. Then flips over and practice part with the defense. Then he goes to offensive film session and game planning, and then he swaps over and goes to defensive film session and game planning. Do y'all know how thick a playbook is for one side of the ball and football is in the NFL? It's about this thick, man. It's a big playbook, and you gotta know a lot. And this man is smart enough and just more aware enough to know both of it. And then the thing about it is he's never, like, you don't see him out of place like that when we have him on either side of the ball, man. So this was an important signing, man. This was an important signing, and Eric DeCosta is solidifying himself every time he get a chance to that he gonna be a good GM for us for years to come, man. So shout out to Eric DeCosta, man. Shout out to Project Pat. But anyway, Project Pat signed 2-year extension with the Ravens. I don't know the numbers to it. They haven't dropped the numbers or the logistics to it. But hey, congratulations, Project Pat. I love the underdog story and stuff like that, because when you're an undrafted free agent, you're an underdog, and he made it. He's another underdog that made it. For everybody that's saying that we need to get rid of the preseason, this is why you don't need to get rid of the preseason. If we didn't have the preseason, we wouldn't have Project Pat. We wouldn't have been able to work him out and find out what he good at and what we could use him for. So, for everybody that's saying we need to get rid of the preseason, this is why we don't. But anyway, man, y'all hit me up for mailbag questions. Mailbag question, of course, is when you ask me a question about any NFL player or NFL team or any college player or any college team. I turn around, shout you out, and answer the question to the best of my ability. You can hit me on Facebook, what's the B word? Hit me up on Instagram, what's the B word 52, and hit me up on Twitter, B word 52. And for y'all that don't have social media, you can hit me up on Gmail, what's the B word at Gmail, and I'll get right back to you. But anyway, I'm finna get up out of here. I'm Anthony Addison, man. This was the B word, man. Subscribers, I love y'all. Flock, I love y'all, and I'm out.